Hi Pisces, welcome to your reading for the next 7 days, and you can come back to this as many times as you want, and I would recommend you do so. And yeah, it's timeless. It doesn't matter when you're watching this. The energies in this and the advice will be helpful to you. And energy flows to people in different ways anyway. So a reading posted now, whether it's dated now, could, the energies could get to you next week. The advice being given to you here, let's see. Six of Swords. You have just been through something that you did not want to leave behind, but you've left behind due to thoughts and actions and the collective, and someone kind of urging you to do so, or someone supporting you through the process of moving away from someone. It could be a part of yourself that you've decided to grow up from. Even though it makes you sad, you're still doing it. Bottom of the deck is Page of Pentacles. Let me really dive into your energy right now. You're the last sign I'm reading for in the past few days, and I've been doing like 2 to 3 readings a day. Simply because of how heavy everybody feels. The energy around everyone feels like a giant wet blanket. And you're just doing something because you think it's the right thing to do, but you don't really want to do it. You don't want to leave behind that which caused you trouble. You don't want the thing that's leaving you to leave you. You really don't. She's looking back, she's looking back, she's looking back, she's not looking back, but the back is coming to her back. Pisces, I don't want to say you're making a mistake, because you learn from everything you do. But this doesn't feel like something you want to do. What's going on? Even tuning into this, it feels like I'm trying to look at something through a window that's covered in rain, and I can't get a clear image of it because of all the rain coming from it. Which means you're heartbroken. You're in your emotions way more than you should be. There's a swan in the background here that swans mate. They pair bond, and it doesn't have its mate with it. She's leaving something behind, and she's being assisted through this transition by someone else who's basically keeping the person that wants to talk to you away from you. They're being a good best friend, but they're not realizing that they should let you experience what you need to experience full front. Instead of trying to shield you from the pain and take you away from it, they should be standing by you and holding space for you so you can strengthen. The diamond isn't formed by blowing on it. It's formed by crushing the crap out of it. And you're indestructible. So what are you afraid of? Being hurt? So what? Being abandoned? So what? This is so much emotion here. Even since this is the Six of Swords, thoughts and, gossip, and you just got through the Five of Swords, you used a different mindset to leave, and you're using the material world as an excuse to, ride above your emotions. You're avoiding. You're doing the Pisces thing, swimming around the thing without looking at it. quit it. The Eight of Wands is communication coming in. It is also a card of awakening and enlightenment, learning something. You have been through something for the last 5 to 8 years, weeks, or days. Nope, months. Let's just say 2018 kicked your ass like it kicked a lot of people's asses. You've been putting on a brave front for the most part, but you're an emotional mess. And you're being way colder than you should be, because you think it's what should be done to keep up your reputation. When really you want to talk to this person that you're moving away from, or that moved away from you, but you're not doing it because of pride. And only pride because you want to look good to your friends. You want to look good to yourself, and not in a good way. You know, when I'll use a superhero for example, because that's what I'm seeing. I see Supergirl standing in front of a mirror, pep talking herself, but what she really wants to do is go sit on the couch and eat ice cream with somebody you cared about that you're leaving behind because of something that happened maybe 3 times. I don't want to say 3 years. There's something about these 3 cups being knocked over, doubled into 6 swords, the 8 wands, with the 9th leading you away. The 9 of wands being guarded, defensive, protecting yourself, not sure if you're going to fight or not. The 5 swords being used for so many different things, with the 6th one being like the nail in the coffin. There's something else here. You're swimming around something, and I'm seeing it reflected through your eyes of what you're seeing. But your eyes also have a sadness to them. The sadness happened because of pain. The pain could have been because of betrayal. The betrayal caused you to become colder. Coldness caused you to not look at people compassionately, regardless of how much they learned. You're just covering yourself with a cold shoulder and moving forward, when all you want is for somebody to wrap your cold shoulder in a nice warm shawl. Don't be arrogant. Don't be prideful. Don't be a shark. And don't be a whale either, eating everything in your way. And by eating, I mean accepting everything being given to you and then saying, yeah, that's true, yeah, that's true, yeah, that's true. No, don't make it true for you if it's not. Regardless of this reading or your friend's advice or your subconscious telling you something, what is your inner knowing telling you? Isn't it telling you that the cups, the love that you felt, that you feel disappointed in now, wasn't it worth it? Wasn't the love worth the disappointment? Isn't one more moment with this person worth another moment of disappointment until there are none? No disappointments? If you're leaving a situation behind that really hurt you, and you really don't want to leave it behind, why don't you communicate out of a place of maturity, wisdom, enlightenment, honesty, creativity, moving forward, instead of fear. The fear that something cannot get better, so you must let it go. Everything can get better. Everything. No matter how bad something looks, it can and will be improved, if not by you, then by someone else. So if you love somebody, why would you leave them and let them go when you want to work things out? If they're leaving you and they don't really want to work things out and you're sad over it and you keep communicating because you want to work things out, Don't chase them. Don't. They will only grow farther away. When someone is in the mood to leave, let them leave. Let them turn around and let them come back on their own. You keep doing what it is you're doing to be the best version of you without the negativity. And I don't mean pretend that the negativity isn't there. Not at all. I mean, and not I, because when I'm reading these things, I'm usually out of the way. The message here, the visuals I'm seeing, the feeling I'm feeling is that I just want to, like, I just saw someone running away, like, in tears, just upset. They're just letting someone's hand go and, like, sliding the hand out and walking away slowly. And the person that the hand is being slipped away from wants to grab that hand again. But you moved away so quickly that they don't have the inner strength right now to chase after you to grab your hand. You know what I mean? Because they're hurt as well. You don't get to the Six of Swords by just being the victim. You also picked up 3 of those swords. The Eight of Wands is, you can break it down in any way you want. 2 wands, 4 wands, whatever. There was stability between you and them, and this person or you are reminding each other of the stability you had, and you're saying to yourself, or they're saying, however this applies, that yeah, the stability was there, but then this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened, and then this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, all of that happened. What's your point? Can we make something out of it? Because if we can, then we can go to the 4 of Wands again and build a stable foundation. But first, the most simple apology, the most simple gesture of honest, sincere, I love you, let's work this out. I know we were hurt. I took those 6 swords and I made this pentacle. I needed some time, but I've learned to be kind to myself, to love myself, and to transform the negativity and use it as fuel for creativity. No matter how many times you leave a relationship or relationships, the lessons will still be there with the next person and the next person and the next person. You can be 1,000 years old and still learn how to trust somebody. And all that means is that you don't trust yourself. That's why you're asking other people to help you. That's why you're watching tarot videos. That's why you're looking for guidance, because you don't trust yourself. When you feel the sense of longing and disappointment, know that there are entities and thought forms around. Go back to neutral. Set your state and your intention to be your authentic self. Cleanse your system, cleanse the chakras, cleanse your home, cleanse your energy. Go drink water, filtered water for a few days with lemon juice, and detox your system out. What you eat, you become. If you're eating pizzas and drinking all day long and eating junk food and not cooking the food yourself, you're taking in the vibration and frequency of the people that made that food for you. Even food coloring. Eating food coloring that's, not natural food coloring, like red 40, yellow 6 and all that. They're made, most of them, from bug parts. So you're taking the vibration of those bugs within you. You drink liquor, you're taking the fermented energy of that thing inside of you, which is connected to spirits, which then attracts the energies around the matrix and the construct you're in that enjoyed that energy of the drink, which then dilutes your energy and your thoughts and your vibration. If you involve Betty Joe into your business. Betty Joe is going to give you advice based on her point of view, and your friends, family, etc. usually want the best for you, but they don't know what it is that's best for you. You know what's best for you. Your emotional guidance will guide you to what is best for you. And usually if you feel like you have to turn your back on something and be cold, that's not best for you. God, source, spirit doesn't want you to be a cold, hard-ass biatch turning your back away from communication just because of something he or she said. This is why I don't like a lot of videos on the internet that say how to let someone go. Don't watch those videos. How to move on from a breakup. Don't watch those videos. How to know if your relationship is toxic, if this is this or that. Do not watch those videos, because they will poison you. They will take the behavior of someone you're with and make them look like that person is the devil incarnate, which they're not. Just like you have a bad day and you act like a bitch or an a-hole, that person could too. It doesn't make you any less than you were 5 minutes ago. It just means you're processing something, you're going through something, you're transitioning from one to the other, and you're learning. Don't stay stuck in an energy that creates a sense of discord within you, to where the only sense of freedom you have is to leave that person, place, or thing behind, just so it doesn't remind you of that which you caused yourself. If being around somebody reminds you of a moment in time when you were a total douchebag, it's not that person's fault. It's your fault. You needed to learn how to not be a douchebag. So, how do you learn? By being the biggest D-bag you could be, so that you know the vibration of D-baggery, so that you don't become a D-bag next time. Why do you have to leave things behind? You don't. You can fix anything, and by fixing things, and not people, you can't fix people. You can fix yourself by realizing you're not broken, and everything you're going through is a life lesson. And you don't have to leave each life lesson behind to go to the next one. You don't. You can be with one partner for the rest of your life and have the most perfect union with them. And it'll get better and better and better and better because you work things out together. Leaving someone behind, whether it's an aspect of yourself or an aspect of someone else, or a literal person, place, or thing, do you not comprehend how much that changes you, not in a positive way? You move 10 years with someone, you buy a house, you do all these things, you leave them behind, you're back at an apartment by yourself alone. Doesn't matter how much you learn with that person, you're still back at square one again. Couldn't you just apologize to the person and talk things out and move forward together? If this isn't about love or a relationship and you're simply feeling your feels completely, get out of your feels. You're wasting the opportunity. Something is coming to bless you, to give you something that'll completely... It's like a celebrity messaging you and being like, hey, I really like your stuff. Here's an opportunity for this. And that opportunity will blossom into 7 other opportunities. And all you got to do is make the first step to take the initiative. And you're like, oh, but I'm so tired and I have all these sob stories and I just don't know right now. All right, bye. When on the flip side, you can get all these opportunities to get out of this mess of emotion you're in and other people's opinions of what you should do. Follow your own spiritual guidance from within and do the right thing by you. If a raven is sitting there cawing at you, talking to you, if spirit is sitting there speaking to you without words, it's not going to tell you to leave somebody. God's not going to tell you to turn your back and be cold to somebody or yourself. God will tell you without words to see the God in everyone, in everything, in every place. And by doing so, you bring that God to light within them. So the most idiotic, abusive person you've ever known, if you simply keep acknowledging that they are also God, learning, they are also source, learning and growing, do you think the abuse in them will grow, or the love in them? Now, I'm not saying stay in a situation where you're being hurt. Get out of those situations, find some peace, give the person a wake-up call. But before you do anything, acknowledge, because your reality can change in an instant. You don't have to go through the societal standards. Acknowledge the divinity within yourself and realize that what's being reflected outside of you is what's coming from inside of you. So if you're in a really messed up relationship that you want to leave, pause and acknowledge that you yourself are a match to the vibration of that messed up relationship. And leaving it won't do anything but bring you that same relationship with a different face. Comprende? You can't fix someone, but when they show you things you don't like, you can immediately adjust it in yourself. If the love of your life is standing in front of you and you can't see them, all you see is you and you think it's them, and you're like, I don't like this about you, I don't like that about you, I don't like this about you. You're just talking about yourself. They're behind that projection. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to stop looking at them through the filter of your own judgments of yourself. Don't be cruel to people in that way. Give everyone the benefit of the doubt that divinity resides within them, and see how your life changes. Otherwise, you may as well get that boat and get some insurance for it and hire that driver, because you're going to be leaving things behind over and over and over. You don't even look. Page of Pentacles again. And then the Four of Pentacles underneath that, and the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Come on, Pisces. Just humble yourself. Humble yourself from this place of really being up your own butt with how much you think you deserve better when you're not giving yourself better. If someone's being totally douchey to you and you're like, I deserve better than this. Yes, you do. Why aren't you giving it? And you're like, but I do give it. I do everything. I bend over backwards. I do this and I do that. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't have the lack of self-worth to defend yourself like that. People with self-worth don't bother defending themselves. They don't bother justifying what they're doing. They don't bother making excuses. They see what's happening, they fix it maturely, wisely, and responsibly, and they move forward. I've had many relationships where there was a lot of conflict and strife. Most of them I abandoned, and I walked away from all of them. Looking back at it, all of them would have been fixed if I would have just sat my ass down and talked it out. If I would have acknowledged within myself, yeah, I do have the tendencies to listen to other people instead of myself. I do have the tendency to just leave behind people immediately when they disappoint me because I'm afraid of being hurt. I can be cold-shouldered, and ice people out and just sit in my own barren wasteland of nothing. But why would you? Why hold on to what doesn't make you happy when you can give what does make you happy to the people that you want to be happy with? You're the only one in your way, and you're taking your way away from what you want, hoping that the next one will be better. How's that working out for you? You deserve better, Pisces. You deserve better. Your sign itself and every single Pisces I've ever met has been beautiful beyond belief and the most gentlest creatures I've ever met. Your flaw that I've noticed that not one Pisces I've ever met has grasped this fully. Do you know you swim in your own pee? If you keep swimming in your own pee in the same area, do you really think that you're being good to anybody? If you're not being good to you, how are you going to be good to anybody? This is completely irrelevant of anybody else. I'm not sensing anyone in this reading other than you. And it's not even about one person, it's a collective of people. In these readings, they can be viewed so many decades down the line if I keep this YouTube channel up that long. And the message would still be the same. Humble thyself. Humble thyself away from the sorrow, grief, disappointment, rejection, abandonment, betrayal, conflict, strife, breakups, people leaving your life, people passing away, people giving up animals for adoption, losing your job, like all these things, and you're like, blah, I don't wanna, I'm so wounded, I just want to take a moment to heal. And that's where we find your poison that you think you need to heal. You waste so much time thinking that you need to go away to heal yourself because your heart's broken. Your heart isn't broken. You also broke another person's heart. Are they doing what you're doing? They're probably trying to talk to you, and you're just ignoring them. There's a ship in that background that's just like, I'm out, yo. This bird's like, how much longer are you going to sit there pretending that you don't care? That ship's going away. All they're asking you to do is stand there and light a stick on fire to know where you are. And you're all, no, they should already know where I am. If he would have stayed and didn't cheat on me, he would have known where I was. Back to the basics. Start with what you have and where you are. The love is still there. The rose is blooming. The butterfly is coming to help pollinate more roses on that. You're still clothed, warm, food, shelter, youth, beauty. You have all of it regardless of how old you are. But on the inside, you're miserable. That's why you're swimming around something. You don't want to admit it. You've made a mess and you don't know how to clean it up. And the only way to clean it up is to communicate with it. That's why there's no major arcana here. There's nothing. This is all about you and how you feel, and the guidance being completely a riddle. You feel this, you feel this, you feel this, you should do this. Someone coming to you, or you coming to someone with a simple, humble, childlike offer. Feeling, doing. Change your method. You can't solve a problem. What is that quote? The same thought pattern that made a problem can't solve it. If you're still feeling the same emotional vibrations you felt when you were 16 and you're like 40, do you really think you've grown? Think about it. The level of happiness you felt when you were, let's use another one because you're obviously not feeling very happy. The feeling of loss that you felt the first time somebody dumped you or you dumped them is guaranteeably the same feeling, the same vibration, the same exact sensation that you have felt in the last 6 days, 6 weeks, and 6 months. Which means you haven't grown emotionally at all, because you are emotionally spoiled. You have the oceans of the universe at your disposal, and you don't even want to leave your little guppy pond. You're emotionally immature, Pisces, and I love you unconditionally. That's why I'm telling you and being very upfront with you. You're making mistakes in your life, and you're not learning the lessons that your soul is asking you to learn. You don't have to leave something behind just because you tarnished it. You don't have to leave those cups behind because you knocked them over. Fix them and go pour some more water in them. Put the effort. Look. Taylor the Sylph. In the book, it's about her being completely unbound by the laws of physics. Nothing applies to her other than completely going in whatever direction she wants to go whenever she wants to go. A complete turnaround of events from 180 to 360 to 720, whatever. Which way do you want to go? How do you want this to go? I can help you. Bottom of the deck under that, the fairy godmother. Lady Luck, your help coming in at the last minute, enlightenment, wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, pearls of wisdom, humor, fun, playing coy, growth. So many spheres of light around you, seeing things in a different perspective, knowing that all will be well. All is well. Under that is Lease of the Shadows, which is breaking free of addictions and getting out of the dark night of the soul and just moving forward. Instead of thinking that just because it's called the dark night of the soul, that means you got to stay there all night. But you don't. You can simply know that that's where you're headed, and you can immediately turn it around and go another way. The 45 here goes down to a 9, which is learning and a wrapping up of a certain, like, it's not a completion of a book, it's the end of a chapter. But if you don't want to finish that chapter, you can go right ahead and go back to the beginning of it again with the same little problems you keep making for yourself. Really. There's gotta be something else here. There feels like something is elusive. Like when you're talking to somebody and giving them advice and they're like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know. And then you leave their presence and they go back to smoking a cigarette. Like, didn't you just... Yeah, I know, but I just need this one last one. Like, oh, I love him. I really wanted to be with him, but it just didn't work out. And the love was there, but But you can work it out if you just stop being and turn around and say, the love is there and the love is worth it. What do we do? One more card for Pisces, please. Because, whew, my chest feels heavy. I don't even want to acknowledge your negative emotions. I really don't. I feel you, Pisces. You feel so Like you're waiting for me to hit that nail, to scratch that emotional G-spot to where you're like, yup, that's the one. Now I'm going to go on this high for the next day and then revert back to my old ways. I'm not putting you through that. You are far too intelligent, wise and intelligent actually, to keep doing this to yourself. This loop. The loop-de-loop of woe is me, hey, comfort me, give me advice, thanks, bye, let me go do it again. Ugh. Ugh. You deserve so much better than what you're doing to yourself, Pisces. Knowing that I love you unconditionally, knowing that what I tell you goes into your subconscious, your being, your essence. It will affect you in one way or another. And yet I'm being harsh with you. What do you think that means? Do you think that means that, you've been so bad and you're just going to get, treated badly, or that you're not worth good advice, or that this reading just is negative? No. It means that you need some tough love. Truly. Because I don't want to feel you feeling the way you feel right now. Whether you're consciously aware of it or not, look at this and you'll get what I mean. She's looking at the water that's glowing right there. You're leaving glowing water behind to go through something to where you can hide in it. You don't need to hide. You deserve to be in the spotlight. And if there was love there once, there is still love there, because love doesn't die. A bridge. A bridge connecting the simple, humble, new beginning that is being offered to you. Step 1, communicate. Accept, give, and receive. Step 2, move away from that which was within yourself that caused the issues. Step 3, communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. You can only cross a bridge if you put the first step to cross that bridge. Someone is entering your life, whether this is an aspect of you becoming more aware to you, or this person that you're leaving behind or left you behind that's coming back, or you're coming back to them. You can have it work out. You simply must not do what got you in the mess to begin with. Which means, okay, look, I'm seeing this even more clearly, like I'm talking to your inner child. If you're doing things, if you're a kid, okay, how do I put this into words to you? Because it's such an image. I'm just going to describe the image to you. A child attempting to do everything because it's pretending to be a grown-up. But it's messing everything up. In order to accomplish what it needs to accomplish, it must be the grown-up. But it doesn't want to grow up because it thinks it would lose its childish self, childlike self. What you're not aware of is that childlike self of you that is wanting you to do so much will do even more for you if you become the adult to that child. Which means your inner self won't sabotage your relationships anymore because you're allowing your inner self to be the creative force for you. Instead of the being that takes the brunt of everything you go through. A lot of people punish their inner child. They really do. Like an angry mom yelling at the baby because she hasn't had any sleep. It's not the baby's fault. Pisces, I cannot tell you that it's beneficial for you to leave or be left behind. I simply cannot. Because it will repeat again. The cycle of why you left will be repeated again. And it doesn't need to be. You can turn it around, make a gesture, an apology, a peace offering to yourself. Stand in the mirror and apologize to yourself for everything you've done to yourself up to this point. Find your other half, the other fish you swim around with, and realize that you are your own twin flame, soulmate, whatever it is for you. It's not the other person's fault for walking away. You weren't helping them be happy because they were too busy making you happy. They lost themselves in it. They would still be with you, or you would still be with them, if either one of you actually communicated from within instead of what society told you to communicate. Look at this. And it's not even just one path. Focus. Path over there, path over there, path on the other side, obviously, and a path under the bridge. The universe is attempting to help you make the best of yourself.